Michaelak. What would happen if America were to succumb to a nuclear attack? That's kind of what we're here to talk about today. America's plan in the event of a nuclear attack or a catastrophic event. That would be the E-4B Doomsday Jet here. We're going to talk about 3 main points. It's going to be the specifications of the jet itself, the mission, kind of why it exists and what it does, and my contribution to it as I was part of the crew for a couple years. And I have a little handout for y'all. These are some of my patches that I wore on my flight suit while I was in. Just kind of something to look at. Alright, let's start out with specifications. The E-4B is a second generation aircraft after the E-4A. It is the second highest priority jet in the Air Force underneath Air Force One. Some people call it Air Force Two or Air Force One when it counts. The U.S. government defines it as a militarized version of the Boeing 747-200. It's a 4-jet. Has 4 jets, swept wing, long range, high altitude aircraft, divided into 3 levels. Got 3 decks on her, and that's divided into 6 functional work areas: a command area, a conference room, a briefing room, an operations team work area, a communications area, and a rest area. It sits 112 people. It has seats for 112 people. Sometimes there's a lot less. Sometimes there's a lot more, depending on mission. It is 231 feet long, 63 feet high, and has a wingspan of 195 feet. So needless to say, she's a big girl. It has a coating that protects it from nuclear blasts, and the effects of nuclear blasts would be electromagnetic pulse, which knocks out electricity to everything. And it also has protection from thermal radiation from said nuclear blast. It has advanced satellite communications and improved air conditioning for the extensive amount of electronics that it has. A lot of the electronics are analog and super old, and it's designed that way because with EMP blasts, you can't blast out analog systems. A little bubble thing on top here is what's called a radome, and that houses just a bunch of classified electronic communication equipment. It has a 5-mile long antenna which comes out the back, and that's used to communicate with submarines, nuclear submarines, and it's kind of a signal booster for just general communication. It is capable of 12-hour continuous flight without refueling, but as shown in the picture here, it is capable of aerial refueling, where a C-135 tanker will fly above it, connect the boom, and refuel in midair, and is basically sustainable for as long as you want to fly. Moving on to the mission that it has. It acts as the President's Airborne Command, Control, and Communication Center. More or less, it acts as the flying Pentagon in case of national emergency, whether we got incoming nukes coming in, Yellowstone blows up, the White House gets taken out, things of that nature. They carry the nuclear football within it, so we can launch nukes from air, and a would-be emergency war plan, and a classified amount of cash at all times. There are 4, and generally there's 2 active at all times. 1 in depot maintenance, which will be getting repaired or receiving upgrades, and then always 1 on 24-hour alert status. The jet that is on alert status has to be within a designated range of the President at all times. And the non-alert jet, it flies missions generally for the Secretary of Defense, who would be James Mattis right now, and the Joint Chief of Staffs and other high-ranking military officials. And to be around it, just to board it, you got to hold the top secret security clearance, and it's illustrated on this picture here. This red line would be your perimeter, your ECP, and you can't cross that unless you have a specialty clearance. You don't have to have top secret, but clearance. And moving on to kind of what I did with it, I did ground support. So anytime the jet was on the ground, opposed to having engines running continuously because it has to maintain power continuously, I ran ground power generators for it. And as we talked about with the extensive electronic components that generate so much heat, ran a lot of cooling for the aircraft while it was on ground. Also ran hydraulic systems, which were used to test wings, adjust struts, change tires, things of that nature. And also the LOX systems, which is liquid oxygen, which is used for airplane oxygen systems, like your oxygen masks. And in conclusion here, it was a blast and an honor to work with this aircraft. Hopefully we'll never have to use it in its full capacity. We still use it all the time. But if we do, we're ready 24/7. And now you guys know a little bit more about one of our nuclear threat deterrences. Thank you.